Good evening, everybody. This is Tabletop Nerdcast, and it is time for another tabletop RPG. Percy, what you got for us?
It is. Hey guys, I'm Percy. I'm the narrator or games master, or I don't actually know what you call it in this game because we're playing some Savage Worlds today.
Grand Poobah.
I'm the Grand Poobah of Savage Worlds. Welcome to my lodge. Today, I've of course got Mike with me. I'm pointing up because he's up on my screen, but I've no idea where he is on the YouTube. And then Rick is down below me. He might be that way on YouTube. I don't know. Welcome to another quarantine cast from
Rick
us.
is to your upper left, and I'm to your upper right.
Those guys.
I sure hope you use deodorant. Anyway.
So, hey, I'm the only one in the room. That's the beauty of video.
Hey, this is 4D.
You don't even know if I'm wearing anything more than a shirt right now.
I don't want to know.
And no one could ever know.
I
didn't need that
want
either.
to know.
So we're going to play Savage Worlds today. We've actually been building on a world. We started kind of a new game right before we started our podcast that we've been wanting to dig back into for a long time. And so we're actually going to, during this kind of quarantine time, do a sort of prequel to that world to kind of flesh out some things that I haven't even really thought about yet. And so it's going to be a really kind of exciting collaborative experience. The world that we're making is going to be called Dark Storm. But today we are playing in Dark Adventures because the storm is not yet here. We're in kind of the pre-storm era. And that will kind of make sense as we explore that in this game. I've got a lot of things that I'm really excited about to introduce here. But because Savage Worlds is kind of new for us, we did a couple of shorter Savage games in the previous edition, the Savage Worlds Deluxe Edition, but we are playing in Savage Worlds Adventurers Edition. So Suede for anybody who is privy to the names. And so because that's kind of new, we'll be going through the rules of that as we go. We'll be kind of introducing stuff. You'll probably see us flub up a lot and go back to the rule books to make sure we're getting things right as well, because it is kind of a new thing for us. So all of that being said, if you're new to Savage Worlds or if you're new to our channel, like, subscribe, hit the heart, hit the thumbs up, leave us comments, let us know what you like or what you don't like, and most importantly, let us know what we did wrong, because we definitely want to rectify those things and fix them, because we want to play the best game that we possibly can for you, but in the worst way, right? We got to stick to our
Yes, I
game.
do want to play games the worst way.
So, with all of that being said, the world that we are in, this dark world, Darke is spelled Darke for us, kind of an old English style dark, and this is essentially about 100, maybe 200 years in the future from where we are right now. Aliens have invaded Earth. Aliens have also been invited to Earth, and in the aftermath of the aggressive invasions, about half of the Earth's population has been wiped out. Most major capital cities were bombed to the point where they are now glass and non-existent entirely. And there is still kind of a presence of the aggressive aliens still on Earth. However, it's not like a full-scale war. It was kind of a one-hit, take out the seats of power so that we can establish dominance. And now there's kind of a tenuous treaty between us and those aggressors. Tonight, we're going to be joined by two characters. Mike is playing a guy named Chot.
Chot. C-H-O-T. Chot.
Chot. Chot is a saurian, which is a lizard folk, and he'll tell us more about him as we kind of dig into the story. And he's a rescued slave from one of those aggressive alien species, or not rescued, but freed rather. And he now acts as kind of a sort of mercenary for hire, hunting down those aggressive aliens on the planet, I believe, or something along those lines. He'll give us some clarity on that as we go. And then Rick is playing a Texas Ranger named Doug. And so while we have not fleshed out the entirety of how Earth looks now, what we do know is that the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, and New Mexico have kind of formed into one coalesced Democratic Republic of Texas. and it's broken away from all the other Union states and things like that. And
It's kind of the way it
like
should
I said,
be.
like I said, those things aren't fleshed out. So I'm not even 100% certain right now if the other states are still a union or not. We'll kind of explore that as we go. If we ever leave this Democratic Republic of Texas, that's kind of when we'll kind of establish those facts. But for now, the important things and the things we'll spotlight are the things right in front of us. And so we'll, as those things come to be and come to be important, we will flesh those things out. I like living in a sandbox that you're not even sure what all the sand is made of.
Glass.
Some of it will probably be glass. So I think that's enough information to get us rolling. Did I miss anything, guys?
I don't know. It's your
I don't
game.
Yeah.
Well, did I miss anything in the intro, Mike? If you're being affected in any way by the current quarantine or coronavirus, our thoughts and prayers are with you for sure. And we hope you enjoy this content that we're making as we continue our social distancing on our end.
Right.
Yes. And just for all you people out there, we don't know much more than what you know right now.
No, for sure. And I don't know much more. I know what the far future from this about 500 years down the road looks like. I don't know the in-between. And so you guys are actually helping me to tell the story of how we get from point A to point B.
Hookers.
That's how
Is
we
that
get-
legal? Is that legal in the Democratic
This is gonna
Republic
be
of Texas?
interesting.
No, you said we could throw anything out there. So, I mean, it might as well be, one of those games where we just throw anything out there and just see how you react to it.
One thing that's important to note for Doug the Ranger here, Rangers in our world, there are only a few hundred of them. And because there are so few of them, they have kind of an ultimate authority of law, kind of like Judge Dredd, upon their person. And so because of that, he has to wear a visible insignia at all times so that everybody knows who he is, because at any point in time, if he catches somebody breaking a law, he can just provide justice for them. Providing justice is a nice way to say that.
I think that works very well.
So, because of the threat of what a ranger can do, he's got to be very open about the fact that he's there.
So, Percy, I do have a very quick question for you because
Yeah.
it just kind of dawned on me as we were setting everything up, and I didn't ask before stream.
Okay?
Are you streaming this to Facebook?
I'm not.
You're
no,
not.
not today.
Not today.
No, I didn't think about it, and I don't have the tools or the know how to set up those overlays and stuff on my end.
Ah, very, very fair. Very fair. So,
So
we'll walk you through that next time. Just
yeah,
curious.
We'll get there. We'll get there for sure. But I would love to be streaming on Facebook right now.
That's my suggestion for how we screwed up.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, leave it. Leave a comment. So as we begin in Savage Worlds, an important thing to note is that you guys are what's called wild cards. Wild cards are not necessarily unpredictable moments in the adventure as much as they are characters who can do more than a normal person. And because you are a wild card, you get not only the dice that are on your skills, on your character sheet, like you see the D6s and the D8s on the various skills that you chose, but you also get an extra D6 that you roll with every skill and trait roll to try to succeed with. It doesn't add to the dice that you roll. Like if you're rolling a D8 for fighting and you have your wild die, they don't add together. The D6 is more like an insurance policy to see if, maybe there's some other way, some reason that your wild, your extra ability, plot armor, as it were, would get you through a given situation. So make sure every time you roll anything, roll that wild die.
D20.
The other types of characters in the game are called extras. They're like your guard dogs, your nobodies, the cannon fodder. They don't get wild dice. They just roll one die when they're making a check. And that's kind of how it sets apart main characters from, extras. And it uses those kind of phrases to give kind of a cinematic nature to the things that we're doing. Another thing that everybody gets, characters all get 3 bennies at the start of each game session.
3.
3 bennies, and your bennies can be used in a variety of ways. You can use bennies to re-roll a trait roll. So you fail on a skill, or you want to try to go for what's called a raise, and we'll get to what those are in just a second. you can spend a Benny to re-roll your whole roll, and you get to keep the best out of all of your rolls. So if you spend 3 bennies and you roll 4 times, you get to keep the best option. You can use bennies to recover from the shaken quality, which is basically going to be something that inhibits you from acting in combat. You can use bennies to try to soak damage. You can use bennies to draw a new initiative card. You can use bennies to re-roll your damage to try to hurt something even worse than you're already hurting them. You can use bennies to regain points for magic abilities, which we don't have yet. Or you can spend bennies just like you would a Destiny point in Star Wars to just influence the story. And you guys should have a PDF, like a player handout that I gave to you that'll help you
All right.
get everything under wraps.
I got it.
What are you laughing at, Mike?
I know exactly what I can spend my first Benny on.
Okay.
Are you trying to introduce something to the story, sir?
I don't know. Maybe I said it earlier. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
well, in your condition, you'd have to spend a few bennies to make that happen, I think.
Okay.
Sorry and all. Not that that's a sore subject, but
Good night. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this here adventure. You guys are on. You're of course in the Democratic Republic of Texas, and you are currently on a train. It's not like a train-on-train track, so we do have like hover vehicles and stuff now. It is that far ahead in the future, just not far enough ahead where we can do space combat. But you're on a train, kind of magnet lifted, going from Houston to Tyler, Texas. Why are you on this train? What business do you have in Tyler?
they found an alien artifact that we've been sent to determine if it was an alien artifact and to bring it back to Houston for study.
All right, so your goal is to assess the danger of an artifact and bring it back to your kind of home base.
And that is
to
why
study.
Chop is going along, because he is our resident alien expert that was
Boy,
ready
you
to
went
go.
real far with
let's-
my skill
well, let's-
assumptions.
I did. I did.
Well, let's
but
ask
you are an
Mark.
alien. That's all we need.
Let's ask Chot. Chot, is that true? Is that why you're on this train?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was told. Damn.
Chot's on this one because he's been informed that there has been some like underground rumor mill of some abductions, some slavery style abductions that are
Okay.
going on with not just the various alien races that were here and were doing trading and other things like that, but also with some younger humans, and we're talking like just
Okay.
preteens and younger.
Okay.
Oh, there. We can't have that.
Okay. So some kidnappings and things like that. You have a sense that maybe the alien aggressors are involved.
Correct.
Okay. Excellent. So you guys are on this train, and it's like I said, it's magnet based, so it's not like clickety clackety loud, but you do have kind of a light whirring as you're traveling forward. The train is not particularly long. It's only 6 cars, and there is no there's no conductor. Whoever is sort of piloting this train to make it go forward and stop at the right times is doing so as like a drone pilot. They're based somewhere else entirely. You may not even know where they're based out of. So all 6 cars are considered passenger cars. There's no storage space. This is just a quick transport trip vehicle. It's not really something that you're intended to like sleep on or anything like that. So the accommodations aren't particularly comfortable. There's no tables other than like you would think like airline tables. It's almost like a Greyhound bus. But it's just kind of like extended, and it has some tables that you could like put things on if you needed, like to use a computer, laptop, something like that. You could easily do that, or read, or put a drink, or things like that. But there's not, because it's kind of a short trip. There's no meal that's served or anything like that. There are 2 people who kind of serve and check on things and make sure there's nothing amiss aboard the train. But other than those two, which are very poorly trained guards, there's no sort of security or anything like that either. What are you doing, Doug, as you are riding on the train? First, what car are you in? Are you kind of front, back, middle? Where are you, and what are you doing while you're there?
I'd pace the car,
Okay.
going from one car to the next. I would probably be at the back. I'd be at the back end, but just walk in, saying hi, greetings, miss, everything going okay. Seeing if I notice anything out of the ordinary, any untoward, and just reassuring people that I'm on board.
Okay, making sure that people know I am in fact here.
Exactly. So they can feel more at ease,
That's right. That's exactly right. Okay. As you're doing this, I think you're giving off more of an intimidating presence than maybe you're intending to. How are you trying to kind of give that sense of fear, or as you're walking, are you trying to kind of calm people, like, no, I'm just here to help, kind of thing? Like, how are you doing?
The people that are up to no good, I'm giving a sense of fear. The people that are good citizens are feeling welcoming and comforted by my presence.
Okay.
So I would do a notice roll just to see if there's anything that I notice.
So I think the first thing that I want you to do you have the intimidation skill by any chance?
No.
All right. I'm trying to see if there's I'm trying to get a list of skills here. Skills, there we go. Let's see. Do you have? You say you don't have that any kind of intimidation. All right, yeah. Roll me just a base spirit roll. I won't have you roll intimidation, but I want to see kind of if you're able to control your appearance in the way you're trying to.
Well, that was a really good. I rolled a 6, and I got 6s on both. So.
Okay, so they keep going.
Yep, they explode. So that would be an 8.
Okay, so and you're only keeping the result of one of them, right?
Well, you add them together when it explodes. So I got the 6, and then I rolled 2 on my next die. So that makes 8, which is 4. So that is a boost.
So
that's a raise.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, yeah, raise is the terminology that we'd use in Savage Worlds is when you get the max number on one of those dice, it aces. So you get to roll it again and add it to the previous result. So let's see, you rolled the 6 and then you rolled the 2 on top of it. So an 8 is the total. In Savage Worlds, the target number for every check is 4. Just kind of blanket. And then your dice number is modified based on if you have any boosts or any negatives that are going toward your character. Whether it's something from a particular edge or hindrance, or if it's something from the world that, like, you're not totally in control of. So you got an 8, which means you got the 4. You bet the target, and if you go 4 above the target, you get a raise, which gives you something kind of extra. So I think, do you have any idea what you would want that raise to do? If not, then I've got some just kind of some narrative feedback that you'll get from that, and then you'll be able to make your notice roll.
Now it has to do with the image I'm trying to portray.
Yes.
I'm someone that's trustworthy, but not to be messed with.
Right. You succeeded in that part of the role. So I'm going to say basically, like, you succeed in, like, the people that are nefarious in any way, they are feeling kind of uncomfortable, and you can kind of get a sense of that. Like, they maybe move closer to the window when you walk by, or they just kind of look down at their feet when you walk by, something like that. The people who are generally just here, they're just literally traveling. They feel warm to you. You even walk by and you kind of make some goofy faces, and some children laugh. And so you kind of got a good stigma about you so far. And as a result of that, I'm going to go ahead and give you a boost of +2 to your notice roll. It's going to kind of give you some distinguishing between what you're seeing reaction-wise from other people.
Now, am I traveling with Chot, or is he just on the train?
I think he's just on the train. I think he wanted
Okay.
to be kind of a solo endeavor
All
there.
right.
Is that right, Mike?
Yes, he would be. He would be because his race is generally kind of biased against anyway, and he's an alien. He
Yeah.
generally is going to be like in the back of the train, like one of the last few seats, nobody behind him, kind of routine, and trying to keep his distance from people.
Okay. So, you want me to make a notice roll?
Yep. Go ahead and make the notice roll.
Luckily, I have alertness, which gives me a +2 on my notice rolls, and I was one away from a critical fail, so I rolled a 6. So I was successful, but no raise.
You were successful. Okay, so you don't notice anybody doing anything necessarily out of bounds offhand, but as the train is moving forward, and this train ride is usually about 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on if there's any other train traffic. You're about the first 45 minutes into this ride, maybe even an hour, and you start seeing snow outside of the window. You notice snow falling, but it is currently the end of July.
Sorry, Mike.
We'll explain that later.
Wow, that's an unusual weather, and I had to roll to notice snow. Okay.
It's not a particularly heavy snow, and it's not something that like you're noticing. So the success on your notice is not that like you wouldn't have noticed it before, but you were so focused on finding people in the cars doing bad things that your notice roll let you notice the whole situation.
Okay. That's rather unusual. All right. So I walk up and down the train now.
So let's go ahead and shift over to the back of the train real quick. And Chot,
Okay.
what are you doing?
Chot is really just kind of sitting to himself. I mean, he's draped in his duster, has a little hoodie that sits underneath it, and it's pulled up over him. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of keeping his arms and everything tucked in, just really trying not to, with his head down, just really trying not to be noticed.
What do the saurians look like in our world? Are they like? Do they have like a beak nose, like
It's
a
not.
lizard?
It's not really as. It's not really a beak. Kind of.
Velociraptor?
No. Let me give you a little bit better description here of what the saurians really kind of look like. Give me 2 seconds. Ultimately, they where are they at? They're kind of they're tall and slender, okay, but not so much a beak as it is. The face resembles for those that know Star Wars, the Kevorkian monkey lizard. So that little thing that just kind of laughs all the time by Jabba's side, that's kind of the face.
Okay.
It's very small. It's very compact. Their ears are offset to the kind of the sides. I'd say it's more like a mix between if you had to look at it like a cat and a horned lizard. Okay.
Okay, so fairly humanoid.
Yeah, the body-wise, they're
appearance.
humanoid. I mean,
Get a tail?
no,
Okay.
there is no tail. But body-wise, they're very humanoid. They can blend in very well as long as they can keep their heads covered. But
Okay.
their heads are a lot wider than other people's, so it's almost like if somebody is really paying attention, they can tell that even though it's covered, that's not a
Yeah.
normal size human noggin.
That's not regular. Are you scaly?
Very much so, yes.
What color?
It would be kind of a greenish brown.
Okay. Awesome. So you're kind of sitting there with a hood draped over your head, and I think it's pretty easy because you're not like trying to hone in on anything in particular. You notice the snow almost immediately, and the other thing that you notice is that it's not cold. It feels normal for Texas in July.
Okay. That's a bit odd. Um, so being kind of reptilian here, ultimately what the problem is that if I think I would have reacted to that because of the fact that I would be looking outside going, okay, I'm kind of semi cold blooded
it's
here,
it's about to
and
be nap time.
yeah, I'm about to want to go to sleep. So he's really just trying to bundle up, but kind of reach into the window because he's not seeing any like
uh
frosting happen. It's kind of
Right.
nice and warm. Um,
Okay.
but it, it just doesn't make sense to him. So um, I think
Uh,
I think Chot would flag down, and I'm sorry, I'm still trying to remember the name here. So Rick, what's your character's name?
Doug.
Doug.
Good.
Before you can do that, I wanna introduce something into your pocket.
Okay.
Okay, you have a sort of a fob, sort of similar to like what you see if you've watched the Disney's Mandalorian. You've got a fob. It's not like a bounty hunting fob like he uses. It literally pings when alien technology is within 2 miles, and it pings faster as you get closer to it, to the point where it becomes like a shrill, high pitched thing that really only you can hear. So you know when you're closest to this thing. So you have
Okay.
a fob that detects alien tech. And like as you kind of get this realization of like here's this snow, but it's not cold, it's kind of strange. You hear a boop in your pocket.
So that's going to instantly take his attention, and
Right.
he will pull the fob out of his pocket, and he's going to do what he normally would do is he's going to start searching as far as angling in different directions around out the windows, trying to see if he can get on one side of the train versus the other side of the train a better direction.
All right. So you kind of start doing that, going window to window, car to car, kind of doing that. And Doug, I think you probably are like car 4 or 5 at this point, and he's in car 6, so he's kind of moving up in your direction, and you see 2 cars away this saurian, or well, hooded, dustered figure. You assume you probably know he's saurian by
I would
now.
have probably picked up on that.
You
I've been
probably would have
avoiding
picked up
him
on
for
that.
the moment.
Um, so you see him beginning to move with this like little fob, like from window to window, kind of almost stumbling over people, kind of not pushing anybody out of the way or being rude, but just like trying to like go over their head or whatever. You see him trying to do that, and as you do, you kind of notice as the sun is, you see the sun up in kind of the high noon position, but off to your to the right side of the train, it kind of looks like the sun is setting, which is really weird.
How you? I'm gonna. So I would see him moving around with some device in his hand.
Yeah,
And,
he's still a car
moving.
away. You wouldn't be able to like
Right.
just talk to him normal.
Right, but I noticed that he's moving kind of erratically.
Yeah.
With some kind of device in his hand.
I wouldn't say
And-
erratically. He's kind of methodically moving through the train.
Okay.
The way he described it, anyway.
I'm gonna start moving the train, and when I get close to him, I'm gonna go, sir, sir, what are you doing?
And Chot will kind of stop momentarily, and obviously he's holding this in his hand, and his gaze.
What is that?
He's looking down at his hand, and as
And I will put my hand back. I will push my, duster back a little bit, and I'll have my hand resting on my pistol.
and
Uh,
he's gonna raise his gaze just enough to where you can really see just underneath the hoodie that he is Saurian.
I would
that-
assume I would have noticed that.
Rick, roll
Yes.
me a note. Well, I don't know. Notice isn't really it.
It
roll
would be
me an
common
intim-
knowledge more than likely if
Well-
you're trying to get him to go with an alien race.
No, not that. I'm trying to roll a an intimidation check, which for you is going to be a -2 because you don't have the skill.
Right.
So it's a straight spirit roll -2.
Um. So I rolled a 6.
Okay, excellent. So you do this, and you notice, like, as you put your hand on the pistol, and he's pretty like Mike. While you've been methodical, you've been like looking around the train, so people can see your face. They kind of notice a little bit about you, so it's pretty noticeable that you're sorry. And not that it's like illegal to be sorry, and then you've been on the train for a while anyway.
You better
Right.
be sorry.
But basically, the motion that goes on between you two, it kind of fills this train car with tension for a moment. And Rick, I'm gonna kind of give you a chance before things kind of move in a negative direction to notice that when you put your hand on your pistol, a lot of people get really tense. Like, oh crap, is there about to be like a serious firefight in the middle of car 5 right now?
Don't worry, I got a license to kill.
So what do you do? Kind of you make that motion, and you notice that everyone gets like, people even start like packing up their things to start trying to move out of the way, and you can tell it's probably going to cause a panic pretty quickly.
Sir, you need to move to the back of the train where we can talk. I don't want to disturb anybody, but I don't know what
There
you're
are people
doing.
in the back of the train too.
I understand.
So, Chot, as he raises his head kind of to meet his gaze, and obviously, this Chot's kind of tall, okay, tall and thin and lanky, but
Right.
he raises his gaze and he looks over at Doug and goes, kind of looking him up and down, and then seeing that tin star, and he goes, "Ah, a ranger. Just who I might need to talk to.
Yeah, and what would that be about, sir?
This apparent storm that we see outside. This is
Yeah, I
not
noticed.
this is not natural.
I kind of figured that, but
This
what do you know about it? You're not from around here, which is very obvious. So what do you got to do with this? Are you causing this?
no. This device that I hold, it lets me know when we are in the presence of other alien technology.
I see. So
I believe that this might be driving the storm. But I myself am not authorized to do anything about this.
I see. And
Is the beeping getting faster or louder?
It's getting a little bit faster as you continue moving in the train.
I do not wish to alarm anyone, but that is what I am doing, is trying to see what direction that this technology is that could be driving this.
do you have any idea what kind of technology this is? Is this from
Well, I just said alien, but I do not
Yeah.
know. I am not a technology expert.
neither am I. But all you aliens know stuff about other alien stuff, isn't that right? You kind of all work together, don't you?
No, we don't.
So I see Rick has made his ranger racist.
No.
Speciest.
I'm not.
No, we don't. Some of us were slaves.
Well,
And
yeah,
he says it in that harsh of a tone.
but we don't allow slavery in Texas, so.
I don't allow slavery either anymore.
So what can you tell me about this here device that you're looking at? Where is it? Do you have any idea? And can you tell
Would you
how
accompany
powerful
me?
it is? If it's changing the weather, that's pretty bad.
Would you accompany me to the further frontal cars of this train as we check the sides and see what angle and direction that this is coming from? I do not
Yeah.
wish to do this alone, but I do not wish to upset passengers either.
I'll see. I will follow you. Folks, y'all just go back to it. It's nothing serious here. We're just checking something out. We got everything situations well under control.
And as you say that, car after car. I was waiting for something like that. Starting with the first car, you hear a ka-choom, 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 which is not a sound that should happen on a magnetic vehicle.
I'd like to rephrase that if I might.
And it's pretty quick. Like, your train is going very fast, so it's like ka-choom, 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 and it's like the whole train car situation crumbles. One train is rolling off to the left side,
Oh
another's
my.
rolling off to the right, and it gets to your car pretty quickly. And I need you both to make me athletics checks. Are either of you skilled in athletics?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I is, sir.
Okay, good.
All right, let's see.
Five.
Okay, you pass.
I got a 5 as well.
Okay, you're both kind of not shaken as like in the game terms, but you're shaken for a moment, but you're not injured. However, there are a lot of people on your train car that are injured. You see a lot of broken bones kind of throughout the space, and I mean, there's unconscious people. There may even be a couple that are dead, but you
So,
can't tell without further.
Basically, it's a full-blown
inspection.
train wreck.
A full blown train wreck, and you if you like try to look out one of the windows, you try to orient yourself on the floor at first, and you can tell it's like tilted in some way. You're resting on something in a diagonal, and as you try to look out of one of the windows, you notice like all of the train cars are just kind of splayed out, probably half a mile in like diameter.
Oh my.
So it was a really like these things they're kind of shaped almost like a hexagon. So like the seats are kind of placed in one area, and then the windows are out from kind of the where the chairs and stuff are. There's some space on that side, so like window seats aren't uncomfortable. Um, and because trains don't go right next to each other, that's easy to do. So they like literally roll, and the whole idea behind it was to maybe provide more safety for the trains, but obviously not everybody is going to survive something this catastrophic. Roll me a notice if you're looking out of the window, and you both are able to but you both passed those athletic checks.
Crit fail.
No way.
Okay. I'm not noticing anything out the windows because I'm too busy looking at people that might be injured.
I got a 6.
Okay, you're 6. Sorry, and you notice there are magnetic panels that just are in a line, almost like reflecting off the ground. You can kind of see some shine off of each of them, going just as far as you can see both ways. Basically, that's how you're being magnetized and transported. But there's a section of about 4 of those that you can tell have been removed entirely, which was just enough to cause the magnetism of the train to go way wrong.
Okay.
And as soon as that first train hit the ground, it just started rolling away, and each train subsequently from there.
Well, I think even though Chot notices that, I think his first inclination would still be to try and help the people that are around him. Those that he knows that he can kind of get free and get out of the train and get out of that scenario where
Okay.
maybe they're trapped. I think that would take place. But he would probably let the ranger know very, very quickly after helping folks off the train.
You don't need any of these people now, will you?
That is not funny.
As
No.
our doctor.
No, we eat small rodents and such, so we're kind of beneficial to you.
I see. Yeah, that's what they all say until they start bombing your cities. All right.
But
Is there a
Ranger,
doctor?
either you can help me get these people off of this train, or you can go look at those panels that are missing from the track.
I think we need to take care of the people first, and we'll take care of that later, whatever the other aliens did. And so
You begin trying to get people off of the train to like kind of safety, Mike, and you notice as you try to go out of that first door, and this is Rick's crit fail, the doors are entirely jammed shut.
Okay. So this would be one of those moments where, as that is taking place, Chot would be attempting to use anything he could, from a chair or debris or whatever else he can to try and either pry the door open or smash some of the glass.
Probably.
Okay.
I imagine the glass is probably almost unbreakable.
That's all right.
Not that
Chot,
I'm-
what kind of do you have any weapons, Chot?
He is primarily an unarmed person, but he does carry a Colt 1911.
Okay.
That's unarmed.
Well,
Primarily
no,
unarmed.
his that's not something he typically would draw. It's usually he's going to go for a fight hand to hand.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll me in a fight check against one of these doors or windows. And if you're going to use a chair, we'll establish that during damage.
Okay. It's not that I was trying to use a chair. The chair would be more from a debris perspective to try and pry the door
just use,
open. But
just use something, anything to try to.
All right.
Get things working
So that would be and if you maximize one of your die, you re-roll it, correct?
Yep.
And
you
add it
re-roll
together?
And add it. Yep.
17.
Wow. Okay.
So that's
what
a
is your
raise.
fight check?
It's a D10 plus 1.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you dig you use all your force to push like a leg of a chair or something in between, like just a small open crack in the door, and you push on it and push, and you strain for a second, and then the whole thing pops open. Not even like a bend or a dent or anything like that. It's just like you free the entire door, and you start moving people out, and you're able to kind of get some folks out of this train car. And as you're doing so, you realize that kind of this train had been moving close to one of the edges of the pine forests. And what you're leaning on is, in fact, one of the large pine trees there at the edge.
Okay. Is it just have the car propped up like at a funky angle, or is it just kind of leaning against it? So it's like up at an angle like this, or is it like
it's kind
laid
of at
over
a diagonal.
sideways?
It's kind of at a diagonal, leaning on the tree, and the tree is partially broken, starting to lean over a little bit. But you'd be able to safely get everybody out before it broke.
And that would be the first goal, is to get everybody out, and you know. He'd look back over at Doug and go, "Ranger, do you have someone or a means that you can call to help rescue these folks? I myself am not gifted in human anatomy."
Well, I don't rightly know there, sir. Do I have do we have cell phones?
Yeah, you have some sort of communication tool, whether it's a cell phone or a radio or whatever you would like it to be.
Ranger Doug will call 911 or whatever, 611, which is official channel, and inform them that there's been a train wreck. Using my GPS signal, they should be able to hone in on it. We need medical attention. There are many injured. I'm sure there's some deaths. Have I noticed anybody? Well, I got a crit fail, so I probably haven't noticed anything. But there could be fatalities. We need an emergency response team out here ASAP.
And while he's doing that, after I got the people off the side of the train as much as possible and kind of free, is the snow sticking to the ground, even though it's not cold?
Okay, you're gonna examine the snow.
I am, because the way that I'm looking at that is, if there is snow sticking to the ground, then not immediately at the train wreck, but kind of where those panels are missing, maybe 25, 30 yards just directly to the sides. I'm looking to see if there's maybe any like footprints in the snow. So that's if snow is sticking.
Yeah, so it is gathering on the ground, and as you move over to try to kind of examine it, you reach down and touch it, and you realize it is not snow. That is ash. Something in the piney woods is burning.
Okay.
All right. So as we're moving bodies out, do I notice that? Is there any smell?
Yes, there is. At first, it just kind of smelled like campfire, which would not be totally out of the norm, especially in this kind of day and age. But
Yeah, but unless they have a permit, that's illegal.
well, maybe. But yes, you do notice the smell of burning wood.
I'll say, okay. And it's settling down. Okay. Did I find a doctor on the train?
Did you find a doctor? Roll me a smarts roll.
Dump stat. No.
No, actually, no. I put a lot into smarts because I'm a investigator. Man, I maxed out both die again.
Well, it's got to happen
10.
if you're gonna roll absolute nothing on one roll, a crit
That's
fail.
true. I've rolled 2 maxes and 1 crit fail. But anyway, I rolled a 10. So that's
Okay.
1 raise.
You rolled a 10 on your smarts roll, so yes, you're able to find not a doctor, but you find a healthcare provider of some kind of nurse, somebody
Paramedic
who
or
can kind of
something.
help, at least establish a kind of trauma space for anybody who is injured.
All right, ma'am, I need you to set up some sort of center where we can move the critically wounded. There's no. You said there was no conductor on the train. It was basically.
Correct. It's
AI?
a drone piloted train. Yes.
All right. I'm also going to be looking for someone else in some sort of position that seems like, you can always find people that are taking charge in any kind of emergency situation. I'm going to start finding some of those people, and I'm going to be putting them in charge.
Okay, that's easy enough for you to do. You got the smarts roll for it. I think you're able to establish kind of a ground unit here, and you can kind of peek over at where the other train cars landed, and you see that they've also kind of established those basics, not quite as effectively as you did, but they're getting their injured out of the train and those kind of things. And as you're kind of doing all of this at shot, what are you kind of? You now know that this is ash and not snow. So what is your next step?
Well, I'm really just trying to figure out where and how those sections of track were removed, those electromagnetic tracks. So that's kind of where I'm going to be focusing, is in that section.
Okay, so that's going to be about a quarter-mile walk for you to get over to those sections to see if you can find anything. And from what you can tell once you get there, so it probably takes you about the amount of time that it's taking Doug to set up this kind of encampment.
Okay.
Once you get there, you can see, like, there's no drag marks or anything. So whatever moved these things, moved them in a way that, like, it was...
I can only assume it's lifted.
There's no tracks. Yeah, it was. You can only assume it was lifted. And there's supposed to be mechanics underneath there. And there's not. There's no...
So there's
sign
no driver of
anything.
the train, but there's mechanics everywhere?
Not mechanic. Come on.
Right, mechanical devices, right?
Mechanical device.
Oh,
There's no
oh.
wiring, nothing like that underneath it, and it looks clean.
So it just looks like clean cuts, clean breaks, sections gone.
Yeah.
And that's it. Is this something that I would have seen from a technology perspective,
Not
anywhere in my
necessarily.
past?
I mean, you would know that if there's a break in the wiring, then the train won't work.
But what I mean by that is, like, I'm not seeing any kind of, like, blast scarring that says this section was
No.
destroyed or... Okay.
No.
I'm going to take out my fob back out of my pocket again, and from this point kind of just start pointing it around and doing a 360 and figuring out which direction that I'm getting readings in.
You get readings that at first are kind of quick, and they're to the north. They're almost following this track pretty directly, and pretty soon it starts to get, the speed slows down of the beeps.
So it's getting further and further and
So
further
something,
away.
whatever it is moving away.
Okay.
So I'm,
In the distance, you see a glowing sign that you can't quite make out, but you see kind of it's not glowing, like I said. It's middle of the day, but it's like you see the shine of the sun on some kind of metal sign
Okay.
about a mile down the road.
And that is I would have to walk back up to where where the cars are all at and where Doug is at, correct? Or is that opposite
Yes.
direction?
Well, they're kind of to the side.
Okay. So at that point, I think Shot would very hastily make his way back over to the triage zone
Okay.
to get this ranger.
Okay.
And I would probably have some things set up by now, and I'd be looking around for the alien. And would I see him over there, like messing around where the magnetic panels were, or would I notice him when he's?
At this point, you see him moving back to you.
What's that lizard man up to?
So as I get a little closer,
I'm going to move towards him.
Shot will look up and go,
Okay.
Ranger, this is strange. These panels, and he points at the existing track that's closest to them, right? There are sections that are completely missing. Not just randomly torn out, but missing.
Missing? You mean like they were deliberately removed to cause a wreck, or like they were
not just the emitter,
scavenged?
Not just the emitter, but even the wiring, the powering, the couplings, everything. Gone. Clean cuts.
So
just
what's that
removed.
little device? What's that little device there you keep looking at? What does that do?
Oh, this, I told you earlier, I point in a direction and I see it beeps faster as I get closer to various types of alien tech. It's how I'm able to potentially track some of my former captors.
So, but you're saying these things were taken, and this alien tech has nothing to do with these things missing? Or does it look like alien tech removed these things? I mean, can you tell?
I cannot tell, but as I examined these lines, I pulled and I walked in a circle trying to see where these beeps would be coming from, and my device is getting slower and slower. Similar to, have you ever seen? I believe your culture has dog tracking, like hunting, where
I'm pretty good at hunting.
where it's a collar that beeps, and as you get closer to this animal, it beeps faster, letting you know what direction they're in.
I'll see, like a tracking device.
That's exactly what this does, but it looks for technology that is not of this world, and this device is now beeping slower and slower, which means heading that way, and he points back up the tracks, the direction it was going, that it was reading. It looks like whatever possibly did this is moving that direction and moving out of range quickly.
As much as I hate to leave these people, if something like that has caused this kind of destruction, we need to move. I need to move fast and go find it.
There was also a metallic object that was shining. I do not know what this is that was down the tracks.
Shiny metallic object. Is that what's... But it's not moving, so that's not what you're picking up.
I do not know.
We don't... Well, let's get moving. We don't need to dilly-dally around here. You do want to find this thing, right?
Yes, let us make haste. And he turns and starts booking it.
All right.
Like running.
Running.
How tall is Chad? Is he like 7 foot, 7.5?
He's probably about 6'9".
Okay, 6'9".
Oh my,
Okay,
so he really
so
stands out.
yeah. You're like almost like craning over, probably Doug.
Oh no, Doug is 5'7".
Yeah. So you really are. You're
I'm a
craning
short
over
guy.
Doug. Okay, so we'll screen wipe to you guys kind of finishing your jog. Like you sprinted for a while until you realized what it was, and we'll screen wipe to you finishing your jog and kind of catching your breath outside of Lug Nuts Bar and Grill.
Okay. I'm going to be using some of my tracking skills from time to time. Do I pick up anything?
No, nothing unique at all. This is kind of as you approach, you see a variety of small 1 to 2 person transports of a recreational variety.
Bug Nuts Bar and Grill. What are you picking up there? Oh.
It's a for sure biker bar.
I'll see.
And you notice, like, as you're kind of approaching, nobody's really like making any hasty movements on the inside or the outside, but it's getting pretty clear that something is on fire, kind of in the distance, a few miles within the trees.
So
So
we're
what do you?
seeing kind of that orange kind of glow that's coming up off on
Yes,
the
yeah,
background. And
where it kind of looked like a sunset at first, now it's pretty clearly fire.
So what are you picking up from that little device of yours there, sir?
It's still moving. Oh, it's you guys were moving at about the same pace that it was. I'll say that. So it
So
hasn't slowed and it hasn't sped up.
now, is that the direction of this here fire?
kind of looking, I pointed in that direction of the fire and see if that's the strongest signal.
We're asking you.
Yeah, it doesn't really like pick up directionally. It's more of distance.
Okay.
So like no matter what direction you're facing, it beeps the same.
Okay.
You just know if you're getting closer or further by when you walk, does it speed up or slow down?
Okay. I do not know. I only know that we are at a steady distance, which means that whatever we are tracking is being moved by foot, the same speed that we are making.
We're moving pretty fast. Look, so they must be running too. But they're going up the tracks now. We were following the railroad or the maglev tracks, right, through the woods.
Yeah, you're about a quarter mile off the maglev.
I'll see. Now Lugnuds is off. Then it's off the main drag. Is there a town, or is there something there, or is it just like a out in the piney woods?
Roll me a smarts check to see what you know. I don't, Sorian, Chot, I don't think you would know anything about this area per se, but you can try to roll, but I think you'll have a -2.
I already have a -2.
Oh, that was your dump stat. I rolled a 9.
You rolled a 9. You know that this is near both the Woodland Hills Golf Club and the Piney Woods Country Club.
It's a biker bar out near golf courses, fancy golf courses. I'll see. Okay. And do I know
what did you roll again? Did you roll a 10?
a 9?
A 9?
A
Okay,
9.
yeah. So
I got
so
a
you
raise.
do have one raise. So you might know that Lugnuts was not always a biker establishment
Okay.
as well.
So now, do I know what is in the direction of the fire?
You would guess the Piney Woods Country Club.
Oh my, rich folks getting hurt. We better go.
I'm not sure they like my kind.
Yeah, I'm not sure about you yet either, sir. But let's you mind accompanying me? Well, maybe we'll find out if that alien thing is going this direction. I don't want to lose that, but since we don't really know where it is, and we're not gaining on it, we need to find out. I'm going to make a call too and say I believe there may be emergency medical attention needed at the Pine Forest Country Club. We will be heading in that direction.
Well, maybe we can
Who
acquire.
are you calling for that?
Huh?
Who are you calling for that?
611, my emergency response line.
Okay. All right. We'll send out the detachment of emergency help there immediately.
Special Ranger detachment line.
We're kind of running low on special ranger detachments. You kind of called us on a train wreck already, but we will get to Piney Woods as quick as we can. Do you need? You said there may be a fire. Do we need to send a fire detachment as well?
Well, I believe so. There's definitely a fire. Now, whether it's a pine forest, I don't know. But I got a friend here that may know something.
Chot's already
we'll
looking.
find out.
Chot's already looking at some of the vehicles that are sitting here as potential transportation.
All right, we will send out a fire and rescue detachment as quickly as we possibly can.
As a
Thank
matter
you,
of fact,
Ranger Doug.
I appreciate that. I'm fixing to commandeer a vehicle here. Do you know how to ride, Chop?
Do you still need me on the line for this one?
No, sir.
Thank
Thank you very
thank
much.
you for your service, Ranger Doug. We will see you when you return home.
I am a very skilled, as you would say, pilot.
I'll see. I'm gonna.
Do you have the driving skill or just the flying skill?
No, it's the piloting skill.
Okay.
It's generic piloting. That's what I saw on the list. So hold on, let me make sure, because I think that's the way that list played out. Is it didn't make you select specific?
Yeah, they've got a driving and a piloting skill.
Oh, it's piloting.
Okay.
But I think that's the way he would equate any of this anyway.
Okay, so basically, you and I are neither of us are very experienced riders.
So, I am a very experienced pilot.
So you're going to make it fly. So if he goes off a ravine, he should have much better luck at that point. You know.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm gonna walk into the bar. I'm gonna say, gentlemen, I need to commandeer 2 of your vehicles here. We got a fire going on.
The whole bar, as you entered, got dead silent. Every person in the establishment is looking at you, and no one is talking. You can hear some light music in the background.
You understand when I say we need these? We need these, okay? I appreciate your service and your accommodation in that. We will return them. We are heading towards the Pine Forest Country Club. And I'll go out and see if I find a nice 2050 Harley Road Glide.
Try like the 2047 or 2147.
2147, okay. They're probably all water cooled by now.
Oh yeah.
They're probably all electric by now, I would imagine. So we're gonna take a couple of bites.
So, do you have any kind of mechanic skill? Like, do you know how to rewire or hot wire, or well, how are you managing this?
I guess I'm gonna have to go get the key from somewhere.
It's kind of.
I was kind of hoping we could fudge right past that.
Not on my brain power.
You go up to one of the nicer bikes and you kind of pick it up and you realize and I need keys.
Gentlemen,
as you're kind of fiddling with the bike, one of the guys kind of steps out and you see he's kind of wearing these. He's a biker. He's got leather head to toe. Says, "Is that my bike you're touching?"
It is your bike, I guess. Is it your bike, sir?
Is it?
I don't know. He knows his bike. I don't know his bike.
I believe
Sir.
the ranger thinks it's his bike now.
No, I'm not taking your bike, sir.
Well, it sure looks like you're touching somebody's bike.
Well, I is.
Who you don't know.
That is a fact. And I appreciate y'all's code. But I need to get there quick. If you wish to, whoever owns this bike, if you wish to have them ride me out there.
What kind of insurance might we have that you're going to return our possession?
The only insurance you have is a star, sir.
That's not really going to cut it, because if you die on this bike, we got a bike.
That's a fact.
And you're about to go blazing into a fire on this bike.
I don't intend to go blazing into fire, but I will tell you this.
You're going toward the danger, right?
While this is going on, I would like to pickpocket the biker.
Yep, go for it. Make the roll.
Is this a stealth, or how does this work? So
no, it's thievery.
Yeah, thievery is the roll.
Agility?
It's under agility, yes.
All right, so I am unskilled in this.
That means it's a D4 -2.
It's
not based on the agility. It's just
no. Otherwise,
you would make the agility roll with a -2, basically.
No.
No. Sorry,
right.
It's a D4 with a -2.
Yeah.
You still get your wild die, right?
Yes.
So that would be a 9.
All right. So
I procced my my wild
Very
die.
good.
All right. So you, how do you do this? Like while he's kind of having this conversation.
Yeah, how does this 7-foot lizard guy stealthily walk up?
Well, he is very stealthy, believe it or not, because he's absolutely quiet in his movements. So, he's basically just kind of walking past like he's taking inventory of some of the other vehicles, and as he walks past, he just reaches a long arm out and reaches back in, and just happens to pull a pair of keys from the biker's pocket, or his vest pocket.
Now
So-
it seems like you're trying to see that's not my bike, and my point that I'm getting across is you don't even know who I am or who that bike is, and we don't know who you are.
You know who
For
I
all we
am.
know, you could have killed a ranger and took his duster. We don't know.
Oh, yeah? Well, would a ranger have this? And I'll pull out a platinum ranger card. See, Ranger Doug right there. There's my picture, sir. Or this, and I pull out my ivory-handled pistol. It's only a cheap, or have a pearl handle. And I pull out my ivory-handled pistol and say,
Oh, I see. So the law just comes to biker bars and threatens us with their guns.
no, the law
If
comes
we
to-
don't
Well-
give you our bikes, then you're going to shoot me. Is that how this is going down?
Well,
I,
no,
I,
but I will arrest you for impeding a law officer in the duly appointed
You're duly
pursuit of
appointed
his
to
duties.
You're duly appointed to go chasing down fires on motorcycles?
I'm
I
duly
didn't
appointed.
realize that was part of the law.
There is alien technology involved here, sir, and I am duly appointed when aliens are involved to do
Oh.
whatever I need to do.
Oh, alien technology is involved. I see. Well, that sure changes everything. Because all alien technology is banned. Is that right? Is that what you're telling me?
It's
so
not all banned, but
So, but you have ultimate jury. Anytime there's alien tech, you just get to do what you want.
sir,
while this is going on,
I have a
Um,
team on its way here right now. Would you like to be a guest with that team? I
Chot
can make that happen.
Chot looks at the key fob that he just got off of this guy, and he's kind of like, does it have like a make or bike? Make
Oh
it-
yeah, you
and-
you find it easily. It's on the furthest end away from these guys.
Okay. So, Chot just, kind of casually, just like slipping between things, just goes over and, while the ranger is making this huge scene, proceeds to stick the key fob into the motorcycle.
Doug, go ahead and roll me an intimidation check. And you said you don't have that skill?
No!
Man, if you were going to play your character like this, I really would have picked up the intimidation skill.
5.
Hey, so says I'm going to oppose you on that one. You rolled a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not like a biker to
But
give
you
up
don't
their
get
bike.
hold on. You don't get 2 dice, sir. Remember?
I do if he's a wild card. You don't know anything about this guy.
I see.
You have no idea what my NPCs are.
All right.
However, he did critically fail. So he kind of looks around. All right, all right. Fine. You can take my bike. And he reaches into his vest pocket and he
Chot looks over at him from his bike. Goes, "This is a beautiful machine."
Oh, Chot, I was going to let you off the hook with the crit fail. Is that... And you said you put the key in the engine and turned it on, right?
I didn't turn it on. I
Okay,
just was
you
looking
got
at the
the-
key. I was looking at the key to see the make and model of what it was, so I could find.
I thought you put it in there. Okay, so he's
No.
going to roll to notice that then. He doesn't have a very high notice.
Do I need to make a stealth roll or anything as an opposed or anything like that? Or
You were blatantly pulling it out to look at it, right? Or were you trying to?
well, I
conceal it?
told you I was walking kind of chalantly between the bikes trying to find which one it was. I
Okay.
was just looking at it in my hand.
Yeah, you can roll a stealth roll to oppose it. He got an 11,
Okay, so let's see how
so
this.
you have to meet
plays.
the 11 to beat him.
Wow. I don't know if I can do that. We'll see. I cannot. I crit fail.
Oh gosh.
So yes, this is a beautiful bike. Do these belong to it?
Look,
You're
sir,
like, are you looking for these?
look, you shouldn't be leaving your keys in the ignition, okay?
How?
Is that your bike?
Okay, now you got to roll a deception.
I found these somewhere.
This is going off the rails really quick.
If y'all would let me finish a sentence, y'all would get out of it without any trouble. But y'all keep saying stuff.
It's more fun.
I don't see deception as a skill.
Maybe
Persuasion.
It's thievery.
It's persuasion.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Oh, actually, I have that.
Oh,
I rolled a pair of 2s, so I almost failed.
yeah,
But
you
either way,
just-
I
you
didn't
just
succeed. Yeah.
failed. Now remember, you can use a Benny to re-roll dice if you'd like to. You got
Now-
3 of them.
On a crit fail, though, he crit failed my intimidation roll. So
He
crit
did.
fail is just not failing. Crit fail is
No, you're right. Mike interrupted the crit fail. He was gonna be like, "Oh, where are my keys?" And he was gonna go inside to look for the keys, so y'all could just take off. His crit fail was gonna be the lack of noticing.
But anyway, it was on my intimidation. So if he crit failed my intimidation, I should still have a certain amount of
No,
intimidation.
He crit failed
Opposing
his
my
opposing.
Right, opposing my intimidation,
Yeah.
and I succeeded, and he crit failed. So he should be
Yeah, no.
proud. And I'm going to say, listen, buddy, we appreciate you letting us take your bike. We're going to take your bike. We will be hopefully returning it. If not, we will most likely be leaving it at the Pine Forest Country
Yeah.
Club.
So his crit fail doesn't equate to your crit success. Does that make sense? It doesn't kind of give you that like unlimited ceiling. It just means that he critically did not avoid being intimidated.
Right, so he should be intimidated by me.
Not
Right now.
necessarily. To the extent that he was willing to comply and give you the bike.
Right, which is what we're still after. That's all, I would
Yes,
imagine.
but there's a factor that's been introduced that wasn't there when you initially did it, because you didn't know that Chot had stolen the keys. And he has now found out that Chot stole the keys, which he was already being aggressive. His opposed roll to you was an opposed intimidation. Y'all were
Right.
kind of trying to stare each other down, as it were.
And I can't.
Yes, and then something else happened that changed the situation.
Yes, we're snowballing it.
Yes. You know how, like, you're kind of calming down and then somebody else says something to tick you off and it re-heightens things? That's what happened.
Right. I guess I'm only saying it was a crit fail, not just a fail. So that's
Right.
why I was thinking it would have a lingering effect. That I would still have a certain level of intimidation against him, regardless of what
Sure,
else.
you could maybe have a bonus toward things, but this is kind of dragging on at this point of arguing with the
I
GM.
agree.
But something else introduced to the narrative that changed the way things were working.
All right, fair enough.
So where were we before that all started?
Him getting pissy
Yeah.
because I'm holding his
Back to-
keys.
Us going back to square one.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, not square one totally. You do, like I said, you do have a bonus to any kind of roll you make toward him. You're rolling that persuasion, right? How'd you do on that? Because you're trying to convince him that he left his keys in his car.
Oh, I failed.
What'd you roll?
2.
A 2? Oh, right. And I was telling you could spend a Benny to re-roll that if you wanted to. Now, did you take your +2 on that?
No, I didn't. So that would have
Okay.
made it a 4.
So that would have made it a 4, and that would make it a pass. Well,
Look, sir.
That doesn't sound like something I would do, but I guess.
I don't know what's going on here. I just know we're in an emergency situation. We had
Yeah,
a train derailed. Do any of your people have paramedic skill? I know a lot of times you bikers are ex-military. Maybe there's a medic in there.
We
you
do, but we're
have
not
skills.
touching it. We're not getting mixed up in this thing. We're
You can
as
help
much
save
as I
lives.
can give you. It's going to be that bike, and that's going to be about it.
Well, that's actually quite admirable. So, so two of us are going to be on the same motorcycle. Oh boy!
Yep.
All right. Well,
And neither of you knows how to drive it.
what's your name? I know my real life skills don't come into play here.
No.
What's your name?
You can call me William. That's all you need to know.
Well, William, I do need to make sure that you get recompense for this motorcycle. So
It
And
says
get your
Sergeant
bike
of
back.
Arms on the back of
Well-
his jersey. No.
You're bringing it back, right?
hopefully, we'll get it.
Well,
If not, it'll be at the
Um,
Pine Forest Country Club. I don't know. That's not too far down. See where that fire is. I will do my best to let no harm come to this motorcycle.
well,
If you want to get one of
Yeah.
your buddies' bikes and follow us, I got no problem with that. But we got to get going.
all right, yeah. Give me a second. That's a good idea. We need to. Well,
Tell you what, why don't you get one of your buddies and y'all give us a ride? Would that make you feel better? I got to ride B with this guy anyway. I might as well ride B with somebody who knows how to ride.
and you can kind of see he's at this point. It's going from aggression to concern.
I appreciate the concern, sir. I'm concerned too, but we got to get there. We got to get going. We
Yeah.
wasted too much time in this dilly-dallying talking here. Grab one of your buddies and give us a ride.
You just take the bike. Name's William Bain. Bring it back if you can, but we really can't. We can't be seen with you. I'm sorry.
Fair
I
enough.
appreciate what you're trying to do in saving lives, but it is far too dangerous for us to be seen with you.
Ranger, we must go.
I'm
And he
doing-
kind of at that he kind of turns and slowly walks into the bar.
I just did a notice check for a 6. So I believe it's because he does illegal activity.
Not necessarily. I don't think just from like hearing him say that, it would be you would know that immediately off the top of your head.
Why would he not want to be associated with the law? That's what I want to know. That always concerns a lawman.
And
All
it
right.
should.
Okay,
That
so
was the point.
we'll get on the bike and let's see how this goes.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors to see who is driving.
Whoever it is needs to roll me a driving check. And
Well,
if you're unskilled, it's -2.
All right. I definitely am not I'm willing to give it a go.
you're at 6'9". You're actually it's that tall. It's actually rather difficult to ride. I rolled a pair of 2s again. Oh boy, we're walking.
You want to re-roll?
Oh man, yeah.
All right. We'll spend one of Rick's pennies.
And that was worse, if you can believe that's worse.
Is it a crit fail?
No. No, I have to roll one more time to get a crit fail.
Okay. All right. So you can't get the motorcycle up and going. William comes back out and says, "What? Do you even know how to turn the bike on?"
The short
Yeah.
one here wanted to drive, so I climb in this driver's seat.
There's
All
no
right,
way
go-
at 6'9" that I'm going to be able to ride behind you.
Make your roll. You're caring too much about real life physics right now, Rick.
As being a motorcycle rider, I understand.
5.
5. Okay, so
5.
you get it on, and you kind of are able to get it moving. He says, "All right, my trust just waned quite a bit that thing's gonna return, but good luck."
I'm looking for a trike. No, I'm joking.
All right. So I guess I'll get on the back.
You're riding B to a lizard.
I know.
That's right. All right, so you're taking off, and you're kind of looking at the fob, and the motorcycle's fairly quiet for a motorcycle, and you can hear it's kind of beeping a little faster as you're
I'm gonna have to
moving
be
closer
using
to
the
this
fob
fire.
because if he's riding, you don't
Oh, sure,
ride
yeah,
a
yeah, I don't-
motorcycle and look at something in your hand.
I don't care who's got the fob in their hand. The narrative is that y'all just know that you're getting closer.
Okay.
That's literally the only thing that matters. I don't care if someone's got it on their butt and they can feel it vibrating. You just know you're getting closer.
That's a
And
little
we're
more
approaching
information.
The fire. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so you're kind of approaching the fire, and you see that that's going on, and it's whatever it is, it's not moving faster than you. That's for sure. Do you stay on the kind of road space there, Shot, or do you move into the trees?
No, I'm definitely staying on the road. I know that I'm struggling to just hold this bike going steady at this point.
Okay, so you move down, and you actually move past whatever this is, and yeah, it kind of speeds up, and then at some point it starts to slow down as you get closer to the actual entrance to the country club kind of thing.
Hey, chat. I think we just passed whatever it is we're looking for in this device of yours.
All right. So when he says that, when Doug says that, we'll slowly turn around and start driving back at a slower speed, just trying to kind of pick the pace back up to where, you know.
Eventually you pass it up again. But it is moving. It seems like it's moving further, like east from where you are.
Into the
If
woods.
the road goes north and south, it's going deeper into the woods, yes.
Do we keep this mode of transportation and drive through the woods, or do we follow on foot? I am having difficulty with this machine.
Oh boy, I almost hate leaving it here, especially with the keys in it. He's never going to see it again. Let's take it a little bit into the woods.
Let's hide it so we'll never find it.
That's right.
We can leave it here and throw the keys into the woods.
That's actually not a bad idea. But
Who
Poor
does
guy.
not have a spare set of keys?
90% of America. I can
All right,
tell
what are
you
y'all
that.
doing? The location
right.
of the bike is not important to the story. I can guarantee that.
I know, but it's comical.
So, and plus, in real life, stuff I care about. So, yeah, why don't we we'll leave the bike off the side? He may even have a tracker for his bike. 2147, I would think that your phone would probably be able to track the motorcycle. And we'll just hide the keys in one of the saddlebags,
Okay.
and we're going to head off into the woods.
We'll start following the fob and start heading off into the woods that direction.
Is there
Absolutely.
any tracks? Do I pick up any tracks of any kind?
You're not seeing any tracks from this direction, no. But as you're moving toward, like, deeper into the woods, the fob is beeping faster and faster and faster. Now, as you're moving, go ahead and roll me a vigor check, both of you.
Put vigor for.
The heat, as
Okay.
you're moving closer to the fire.
Actually, that's one of the good things about being a soldier, is that I get to reroll vigor.
I like it. Okay. I got a 9.
And I'm glad I get to reroll, because remember how I said I rolled a pair of 2s, then a 2 and a 1. The next roll would be worse.
Okay, well,
was a-
let me see if you can re-roll crit fails.
Well, it's not a Benny. You can't use a Benny to reroll crit fails. But this is an edge.
What's the edge?
The edge is reroll vigor.
What's the edge
environmental
title?
hazards. Soldier.
The edge is soldier.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and do the re-roll, but I'm gonna see.
I rolled an 8. Yeah, with crit fails you can't reroll using bennies.
Okay, yeah, you get the free reroll to survive environmental hazard. Yep, that's fine.
So I rolled an
I'll
8.
take it. All right, so you're both able to you kind of cover up with your shirt or a mask or something, bandana, whatever you have on your person, um, and you're able to kind of move freely through the forest. And the fob is getting louder and even more high pitched. Doug, you almost can't even hear it anymore at this point. And you're kind of moving through the trees, and you do see the lodge for the Piney Woods Country Club is entirely on fire, and some of the trees closest to it have caught, but it doesn't look like it's spreading incredibly far.
Do I notice anything else? Anything?
Roll me a notice check.
And while he's doing that, would I have an understanding of, based upon how fast this is beeping and the tone, kind of an approximate distance?
Yeah, you're within a mile.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
You roll 9. Okay, awesome. You see broken tree branches and deep gouges in the dirt, moving the direction you guys are going at this point. The gouges are probably 2 foot wide by about 3 foot long.
Almost like steps, or is
Almost
it a continuous?
Like steps.
Oh boy! You make anything of this here, boy?
Somebody can roll me a smarts check if they would like to.
Sure.
Would that be investigate?
Just smarts.
I would like to reiterate that I am dumb as a box of rocks.
Or there's a knowledge skill, right?
Yeah,
there is a knowledge skill. Knowledge would probably be more.
Yeah, roll knowledge. Roll
Okay.
knowledge.
All right. I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 2.
Rick, you can tell that whatever this is highly mechanical.
You recognize any of this here stuff?
Yeah, I'm busy looking at like the fob itself, and after a second, I kind of pause and go, "No, I do not recognize this. Should I?"
I don't know. You know, you aliens usually know all this other alien stuff. At least,
That is not correct.
Doesn't matter if it's correct or not. It's what we think. So that's all that matters. So let's and it's heading towards the fire.
No, it's heading the direction you guys are going. The fire is now to your left side, to the north, and you guys are heading to the east.
Okay, well, let's go find it because I'm sure that they're up to some kind of no good, and it probably has something to do with burning down the Pine Forest Country, Piney Woods Country Club. They must hate golf. That's downright un-American, and even un-Texan. So,
all right, so you guys continue tracking this thing?
Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't take you an incredibly long time. The thing is probably about half a mile from you. And as you move closer, that fob is to the point, Doug, you can't even hear it anymore. So you maybe even keep checking, like, is it still going? But Chot, you can hear it, and it's like a ringing in your ears at this point. And as you kind of move through a particularly dense piece of wilderness, you see a 12-foot tall mechanical man walking through the woods and just kind of breaking branches with his hands and just kind of walking, just moving. And you can see it's not like a boxy robot. It looks like a humanoid, just 12 foot tall, and as if it didn't have skin. So it's like you can see the muscle, the metallic muscle sinew on it, and there's kind of cables running around it and through it that are carrying grease and other fluids through the rest of the body so that it can operate the way that it is.
Am I seeing the panels that were part of the train track?
No.
And I will pull out my pistol and I'll say, "You, Mr. Mechanical Man."
It turns toward
While he's
you.
doing that,
I'm a Texas Ranger. You need to cease and desist all mechanical operations.
I'm shifting to kind of hide behind some other trees and some other things that are there, just kind of to be
Okay. Go ahead and roll that stealth roll and keep the number to yourself for a second.
All right.
It turns its head toward you in the torso, kind of a trunk rotation, and you see it's kind of got a mask on it, and it opens up to reveal a mouth that again has no lips or anything. It's just teeth, and it opens, kind of, and sound comes out of a speaker in the mouth, and it says, "You want me to stop?"
Yes, sir. I need to know what you're doing here and what connection you have to that fire, and explain yourself.
I am not connected to the fire.
I'm speaking with the authority of the state of Texas, the Republic of Texas, sir. That sounds a lot more proper. And I need to. Where are you from and where are you going to, sir?
From?
Well, you're not
Going?
from around here.
I do not know.
What do you mean you don't know? You just fall off the turnip truck?
Turnip? Turnip?
Keep your hands where I can see them. What's the last thing you know?
No. Walking.
When did we pick up his trail?
Right beside the fire.
And that's when it started. But we didn't see any evidence that he came from the fire?
Correct.
Just like he just literally appeared out of thin air.
It seems that way.
Did we notice whether the indention was deeper where the track started? Like maybe he was dropped? Or could we tell?
I don't know that you could tell that.
Okay.
Yeah, you could. I would maybe let you make a knowledge check at like -2 to see if you could recall. If you wanted to.
I will do that. 8.
8. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like it doesn't seem like he was dropped from a like a high vantage point or anything like that. But it does. It was very clear to you that like those big footprints started right there.
Do you know where you're going? And you seem to have some kind of intelligence.
Walking east.
And why?
Told.
By who?
Dorian.
Dorian. Who the heck is Dorian?
Dorian Maker.
Dorian Maker. I don't know any Dorian Maker.
Dorian Maker. Me.
Oh, Dorian is your maker. I see.
Dorian Maker.
And you have no idea why he told you to go east.
Walk east.
And the last thing you remember is walking through these woods.
Last thing, walk east.
Okay. Well, the Republic of Texas is going to take command here, sir. And I'm going to need you to walk west for a little bit.
Walk east.
I need you to get back to this fire so we can check it out before I figure out what we're going to do with you, sir. You figure it out. Yes, sir.
Walk east. And
sir.
the mouth thing closes, and he turns back and starts walking.
And this is the alien tech we're picking up here, Chop?
As far as he can tell.
I'm going to attempt to taser him.
Okay.
I don't know if it'll short anything out or do any good at all, but we're going to give it a shot.
All right, let's go ahead and deal out some initiative then.
Sir, I gave you a command. You need to stop right now in the name of Texas.
Okay, I can tell you this. You're not going first. But nothing happens that you notice. The bot is going to go second, and he continues walking. And that's his whole action. And then it will be your turn.
All right. $12.
12.
So that's 2 raises. So
Okay.
I'm trying to hit a system that I think.
Oh, if you're calling the shot, then that's going to have a modifier. If you're just shooting it at him in general, then the 12 will stand.
Right. No, I am trying to hit a vulnerable area where I think a jolt of electricity might disable him.
Okay, so let's do a -4 to that then.
So it's 1 raise.
That would be 1 raise then, yeah. Okay, so you hit him with 1 raise. What's the damage on a? Well, he's at a short range. Sorry, I got to get all this shooting stuff down. I don't know all of the stuff as much as I need to. Short range, there's no modifier. He's fairly close to you, so.
It's a -2 on vigor, or he's stunned.
No damage.
No, it's a stun weapon. It's a taser.
Okay. Let's see. Stunned or shaken?
It
Stunned.
says stunned.
Okay. All right, he gets it. So it hits him, and you see it like shocks him, makes him stand up straight, and he turns back, and you see the mouth thing open up again. First the windows, and then the jaw extends to reveal the speaker. And he says, "Why did you shoot me?"
Sir, in the state of Texas, my word is law. You have violated that law by continuing when I gave you a strict command to stop. I don't care who your maker is. Right now, you are subject to the laws. You are subject to the laws of Texas, which supersedes any Dorian maker. So you need to cease and desist and do as I command, or more extreme measures will be taken.
More power than Dorian?
Absolutely, sir. The Republic of Texas is quite a
Stronger
bit there.
Stronger than Dorian.
Absolutely, sir. Ask anybody in Texas.
In his waist turns to meet his chest, and his legs turn to meet his like he kind of steps to the side and faces you. Crush stronger than Dorian.
Excuse me?
Shot, do you do anything this round?
No.
All right. One of the beautiful things about Savage Worlds is initiative is different every single time, and we deal it based on cards, and it goes from ace down to 2 is the initiative order, and then if there's a tie, it goes in descending alphabetical order based on the suit. So it'd be starting with
standard
spades.
trump, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dealing new cards. Mike Shot got a king of clubs. Doug got a 2 of clubs. The Mech got a 3 of diamonds, and there is another card on the table as well. All right, Shot, what do? You're still hidden, I believe. Would you like to maintain your stealth roll? Or you could roll another stealth roll and add 2 to it because he didn't find you.
No, I think the challenge that I have is that he did just... this is alien tech, obviously, and he did just threaten a human. When I hid...
You must be mistaken. Nobody would threaten the Texas Rangers.
So how far away from me is he approximately? Because you said short range, right?
Yeah, about, less than 15 feet.
Okay. I'd like to kind of...
But he's a 15-foot tall, automated man.
So I think what I would like to do is see if I can. I'd like to jump forward and see if I can kind of damage or claw up one of his, or sorry, just basically, one of the edges that I chose was martial artist. Okay.
Okay.
So what I would like to kind of do is see if, and I understand he's a big mechanical man, I kind of want to see if I can sweep him and see if I can knock him down. That's
Okay.
ultimately what I'm going for.
All right. So you're going to try to knock down one of these massive legs.
Yes.
Kind of kneecap him a little bit. Okay. So go ahead and make your. Is that just like a straight fighting roll? Or are you trying to grapple?
This is a straight fighting roll.
Okay, and you're kind of hoping. So essentially,
Is it a target? Would that be like a targeted strike, though?
I think that would probably
Sweep
be
is a
like a
specific
called
action.
shot. Is it?
Yeah, I think sweep is a specific action. I mean, as far as the sweep attack. Well, they don't even have it in here.
Yeah, it. There's a range attack and then there's melee attacks, and that's really what it is. It's not coming back with anything, according to the sheet that you sent us.
Right. Yeah. Now let's see. Yeah, it would definitely be a called shot. Let's call it a -2.
Okay.
And basically, if you succeed, you'll hit and you'll be able to do your normal damage. And if you get a raise, you can start kind of toppling him. I'll say that. It won't guarantee that he falls, but he'll have to make a check. Now he is large, so you get +2 to hit him.
Okay. Let's see. So that's 8, 9, 10.
All right, 10. Okay, so you did get one raise, so you'll be able to kind of hit him and try to damage him. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. So this is an unarmed, and I am not familiar with the damage there. I know I have bonus to it because of martial artist.
So
Is it strength?
It'll be your strength plus whatever your martial artist thing is.
Do you have claws or anything like that as far as?
Not he doesn't have claws. His typical is a bite, which is different than just
right,
the standard.
that doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't work for martial artists.
So I've got. Now you don't get your wild die on the damage roll, right?
Correct. Right.
Okay. All right.
Strength plus D4 plus 1.
Strength plus D4 plus 1. What do you mean, D4 plus 1?
That's the damage you do.
Yeah, because of the unarmed martial
Artist.
Yeah. All right, so I've got 8.
8. Okay, so you kind of move him a little bit, but you notice that it doesn't do any damage to him. Like, at all. Like, you try to claw at him, and it's like whatever metal he's made out of is it doesn't react to your attack even one bit.
That's not good.
Who is this? Oh, you are like Dorian. Why are you angry? Dorian Maker.
Cease and desist.
Must crush stronger than Dorian.
That's the Republic of Texas, sir.
And is that it for your turn, Mike? Do you want to do any other movement?
I'm really not going to do any other movement at this point in time. I got to figure out what my next thing is.
He kind of ignores you and walks toward Rick, and he is going to attempt to reach down and grab you. So he's going to try a grapple here, but he's not super good at it.
My parry is 5.
All right, he rolled an 8, so he does not get a modifier to, or like a raise. That's the word I'm looking for. But his strength is pretty high. So he kind of reaches down and just kind of, with an enormous hand, gets as much of your body in his grip as he can and squeezes. And it is going to deal 16 damage. What is your toughness?
Nowhere near that. My toughness is 5.
5, so that would be 9, 13.
Oh, but
Yeah, so-
I also have my armor, which is another +2, so that would be 7, and then +2.
7,
It absorbs.
11 to 15. Okay. So he still gets 2 raises on you. So you're going to be shaken with 2 wounds. Now, what you can do when you're taking wounds is you can spend a Benny to try to shake off some of those wounds. And basically, you'll make a vigor roll. And for each success, so like for your first success and your first raise, you'll take off one of those wounds. I believe that's how that works.
Well, that's how a normal vigor, right? But I can remove some of the wounds just with a Benny.
No. The Benny is what lets you shake it off. You don't get to roll a shake off roll without spending a Benny.
Well, I got 1 success.
Okay, so you'll avoid 1 wound. So you are shaken and you have 1 wound. Wild cards can receive 3 wounds before they become incapacitated. And each wound incurs an additional -2 penalty to checks going forward. So he reaches down, he squeezes you, yeah, you just take it's a lot of bruising. He maybe even breaks and cracks a rib when he does that. And then it's going to be your turn.
All right. So I have 1 wound and I'm shaken.
Yes, so at the start of your turn, you're going to make your spirit roll to see if you can get rid of that shaken quality. Or you can just spend a Benny to get rid of it. But you only have 1 Benny left.
All right. Okay.
So do you want to roll the spirit roll or just spend the Benny? Or, I mean, roll the spirit roll first, of course. It's a free roll.
I'm gonna move. I'm gonna say,
Hang on.
sir, you
Before you can move or anything, you have to roll spirit. You're shaken.
all right. I rolled a 4.
Okay, perfect. Then you are no longer shaken and you are free to do your turn as normal.
Sir, you just assaulted a duly
You are wounded.
appointed officer.
You sound very calm for someone who was just squeezed half to death.
Yeah. No, I'm not. You just assaulted a duly appointed officer of the Republic of Texas, and that is a capital crime, sir. I have the authority to terminate you.
Crush stronger.
You may be stronger than me, but you're not stronger than the Republic of Texas. And
Republic of Texas stronger than Dorian?
I think so, sir. Everybody knows Texas.
Must crush stronger than Dorian.
So that's the state of Texas. That's not me, sir. They'll
Are
be here.
you stronger than Dorian?
I have no idea. I've never met Dorian.
You are representative of Republic?
I am a Doug just pawned in Game of Life. And I'm going to move out to. I'm going to move out of range.
How far are you moving?
Well,
you have a movement of what, 30 feet, 25 feet?
yeah, 6. Standard movement of 6.
Yeah. Okay. So you can move out to 30 feet.
And I'm going to move farther than that using my act.
What is that? Who's tapping something?
Oh, that's me.
Okay. I can't hear what you're saying.
I'm moving farther than that. Can I estimate how far he can move?
You can tell based on like his gait from what you've been following. He's probably got a pace of about 10.
So he doesn't move fast at all.
Well, 10 to your 6.
Oh, got you. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move out to 60 feet, I guess.
So you kind of do 2 moves.
Yeah. I don't know that I can't. I can't take another
The
one of
state of
those.
Texas will get you.
I'm not
I don't
done
know
yet.
if I'm stronger than Dorian. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and deal out new cards. That's the end of the round. Oh, hey, you guys both get a Benny because Mike, you got a Joker.
Oh, nice.
Rick, you got a 7 of spades. The Autumn Man gets a 3 of hearts, and there's another card on the table. All right, Mike, you have the Joker. You kind of have the floor. If there's anything that you want to act now, or do you want to come in later and kind of see how things go first?
I think I want to see how things start to go first.
Okay, excellent. Next would be the invisible card, but it is not going to do anything new. So, Doug, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna take a shot.
Okay, at 60 feet, you're at long range at this point, especially for a pistol. I don't know what the range bands are for this game.
The range bands for a pistol are 12, 24, and 48.
He's medium. He's in medium.
It's medium range.
Okay,
I mean,
but
is that
you're at
foot or yards that the range band are in?
I'm assuming it's yards,
Because
but I don't know.
because
Just
a 20-yard
48.
yeah, a 20-yard shot with the pistol is still very, very viable, especially against a big target.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're gonna have a +2 no matter what to hitting this thing. So I'll say your modifier evens out with your negative from the distance and the positive from it being so large. So go ahead and roll the shot.
$15.
15.
Yeah.
You are going to hit with 2 raises. Yeah, almost
2
3.
raises.
2 raises. All right, awesome. So you get an additional 2d6 to your damage.
Nice.
And are your bullets armor piercing that you know of?
I don't know.
Okay, if it doesn't say it like on the gun, like in the equipment section, then it's not.
Uh, 10 points of damage.
10 points. It pings off. You can tell it kind of leaves a slight dent in the armor, but it just pow, pa-ting, just pings off and goes into a tree nearby.
Okay. And I'm going to move laterally, assuming that he is probably doesn't turn very rapidly. I'm going to assume because of his, he's moving in my direction, that is going to, moving laterally, that my agility should assist me in evading him. I'm going to try to keep out of range.
Okay. It's going to be his turn next, and he... Mike, do you want to do anything?
Yes,
at this
I
point?
do. Yes,
Okay.
I do. I want to use my duster and wrap it around his head.
He is twice your height. How are you doing that?
Well, I mean, that's still part of the, attack him routine, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is your method of getting it around his head?
Well, because I'd be legitimately right there on the side of him after this whole, physical attack routine, it'll just be kind of like I reach up high with one hand and kind of whip myself up and around and kind of try and whirl it around his head to kind of obstruct his view.
Okay, I'll let that be kind of a narrative fighting roll. You won't deal any damage, but...
No, it's not intended to. It's really just intended to potentially disorient.
Sure. What do you wear underneath the duster?
Skivvies?
It's just
No,
a jacket and then underwear.
standard regular clothes. I mean, it's
Do you have
nothing
like a
more.
hoodie on, or is the hood separate
It's-
from any other clothes?
No, it's a hoodie, but there's like a t-shirt underneath the hoodie and just like
Okay.
what you would see jeans or something along those
Jeans,
lines.
okay.
It's not anything fantastic.
just like street clothes.
Yeah,
Okay.
what they called common clothes.
Okay, absolutely. All right, so go ahead and roll your fighting roll. You're gonna hockey shirt the guy with your own shirt.
Hey, something's got to happen. Okay, I like that. I really like that. How many times do you get to keep rolling?
As many as it takes. Like
Yes, every time it
keep,
explodes.
if you keep popping the max, keep rolling.
Okay. 37.
Wow. Jeez.
Why couldn't I do that on damage?
I don't know. So you put the jacket over his head. It'll blind him. It's going to be his turn, and he kind of just mumbles, "Weak Dorian," and so he turns and takes off running in the opposite direction, and that is where we will end the session for tonight.
All right.
Thank you
There goes
guys
your
for
duster.
playing.
I gotta go out on I gotta go out on a badass roll, and the dude runs off with my duster.
He
Well,
does.
He would have to remove your duster to be able to see, so maybe you'll find it, you know.
Yeah, probably. So, all right, that's all we'll do. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this first session of Dark Adventures, and we will see you next time. And until
I don't
then,
get another shot as he's running away.
you might. We're not done with the game.
Okay.
We're just done with the session.
Right?
You guys keep on adventuring.
All
Have a
right,
good
we'll
one.
see you later. Y'all have